Hello, and welcome to Low Quality Mass Effect Andromeda playthrough. So, we're here. We're just going to call down the colonists to Eos, having solved the planet for them.
This is where we'll build our new outpost. A real beginning.
Prepping deployment order. You must choose what purpose this new outpost will serve.
The Nexus doesn't get a say?
Resources are at a crisis point. Protocol states this judgment call falls to the Pathfinder. With current supplies, you could build a military outpost focusing on defense and militia training. Alternatively, a scientific outpost could advance the initiative's research and discoveries.
For my team's opinions?
What do you think? Military outpost or scientific?
I say scientific. Aren't we here to explore?
I say military. There's too many threats out here.
Be advised that the first outpost placed by a Pathfinder will be a statement in itself. Fair or not, your choice will represent the initiative and its intentions in Andromeda. Consider carefully.
True, and for those reasons I'm going to go scientific. Besides, I think I can defend Eos against any trouble, since I'm a RPG protagonist.
Prioritize research and discovery. That's our foundation. And our future.
Orders prepped. Ready on your signal.
Here comes the incoming cutscene.
Andromeda Initiative, this is Ryder. Pathfinder. Eos is ready for deployment.
Copy that. Outpost block inbound. And ready as hell. August Bradley, operational head for this block. Mayor now, I suppose. We're ready to make the most of what you delivered.
Not just my efforts.
It took a lot of people to get us this far. That's the work you'll continue.
I hear that. Prodromos. That's what we're calling her.
They're eager. I haven't seen eager for months. Eos is far from golden. But now it's a producer. A real and reasonable first step. They think you did the impossible. The Nexus. I warned them, hoping was irresponsible. You proved me wrong, Pathfinder.
You were right to be cautious, let's be polite.
I appreciate your candor. We're all on the same side.
I wouldn't go that far. The reality, Ryder? You brought us time. But one outpost on a long-shot planet won't stop us from starving. You already have a lead on something else?
The nav point from the vault.
Now it gets complicated. The others are ready to officially sanction your efforts, to be a part of your success. We all want the initiative to succeed, but after failing for so long, no one agrees on how to do it. Be aware, that's all.
I'm not completely certain what she's trying to say, so I'll just say whatever helps the initiative.
I don't care why anyone helps, so long as they do.
I've heard that before. Talk to Bradley. Later we'll go over the extended job of Pathfinder. Until then, Tan's waiting on the Nexus.
Radiation levels increasing.
For some reason, all the way up here is my vehicle with me. It's over there. I think I can drop. Into Prodromos. There's a couple of things I need to do.
Radiation within safe levels. Life support restored.
I've just finished reading Moving Pictures by Terry Pratchett. I've read it lots of times before, it's one of my favourite books. My favourite Terry Pratchett book is probably Guards, which is he wrote quite close to Moving Pictures. But Moving Pictures is just really very funny as well. It has some... I don't know actually, I think Guards is more philosophical ideas. But Moving Pictures has some. It's all about sort of parody or reflection on the film industry. Ooh, terminal. No messages. Formal request for Dargut Tivian 28. Making the request again, Bradley. I know it's not your fault. I know she's supposed to be the second wave, but I want a trail so that when all this calms down in a few years we can get proper outraged about how long it took to reunite families, especially ones hurt during the Site 1/2 mess. You know, broken promises are a thing, right? Requesting the deployment of Darkut Tiefan, W84 Crispin, Exo Studies Specialist. Reason, she's an asset that will help viability. She's also my daughter. Let's talk to the merchant. Sell all salvage. I'm 24 out of 100, so I've got plenty of space. I think I would like a Carnifex Mark II though, it is superior to my own one, and it's pretty cheap. So I'll buy that and I can dismantle my original Carnifex supply so it's not completely wasted. This slightly strange thing, the big green stars that no one else can see. One of the really things that impressed me about Terry Pratchett when I reread his books now is the amount of research that goes into them. I hadn't realised this, but some of his later books, like A Glimpse at the Screen, I think, or he talks about his writing method and how much of it is researching non-fiction books about the subject he wrote. I'm convinced that he will have read many books and articles about cinema before writing Moving Pictures, and it really shows. I think you'll get even more out of it than I did if you're someone who actually cares about cinema a lot, unlike me. How? What technology can do this so quickly? Neutralizing the radiation in the atmosphere without dramatic storm effects. The opposite. The weather's gone calm as a summer's day. That's unprecedented. Control over atmospheric pressure, gas, mixture, temperature, what else? And where's the interaction? Miss the dogs. Walking them in the Struttleport Park always helped me think through these problems. Forget side effects too. I should get a dog. Are there dogs? We got damn lucky with the conditions here. This is comparable to sea-level Earth. Eos is drier, but within limits. Moisture is binding into the desert plants and soil. More now, since the vault points to a species with the same air mixture, temperature, gravitational comfort level as us, or is there another reason? Can't predict intent from results. Maybe Ryder's the one to figure out why. The how? That's my department now. Lucky old Hanley. You wanted bigger things, you've sure got them now. Research proposal submissions review. Materials analysis of recovered Ket firearms approved. Waterborne bacteria study approved if you don't flush your work away. Colour reactions and accuracy in insectoid wildlife. What? No, not approved unless you're going to make them stop at a red light. Comparison of quantum initialized string effects to relativistic waveforms. This is gibberish. I'm not giving grants for the best word salad. Element zero voltage resistance testing. Finally, some real science approved. I like the meta joke that the last one is just as word garbage as the fourth one. And I also genuinely think that the writing on emails and logs is the best writing in the game. Which is odd, I'm not certain why that is.
Pathfinder, over here. Pathfinder, Major Domo Evan Bell Scott. I have headaches so you don't have to. Rather, so Bradley doesn't have to. I've also coordinated with your Ket expert. He wanted me to remind you to find him.
I didn't assign a Ket expert to Prodromos.
Then he's a hell of a self-motivator. Here's the nav anyway. Precision is important.
Thank you. I've never talked
Another
to this
time.
guy in any playthrough I've
Of
had
course.
before. Did he actually give me a nav point? I assume that's it. Interesting. Because I know who that is, and I didn't expect... Huh, well, I guess that's nice. They're not particularly interesting. Let's get the memory trigger.
Another eidetic trigger, Sam?
Yes, though my memory array remains locked.
Mayor Bradley.
Pathfinder, good to see you.
You can see me through my helmet.
We're busy as anything thanks to you. Bit dusty, but we can adapt. It's worth it when it's your own.
Don't overwork yourselves. I'm not going to be try and be overbearing.
Let's not drive people too hard. Rough enough getting this far.
Nothing you see here came from cracking a whip. Everyone is just ready. You go do what you need to on the Nexus. Follow that dot. There will be more to do on EOS later. Some key positions: Connor Supply, Ramirez Medical, Abrams Science, Fawkes Engineering. With them and my major domo, we won't end up like Site 1 and 2.
Don't dismiss their efforts.
I combed the first 2 outpost attempts. Those people died trying.
And they deserved better from the Nexus. That's where I point the finger. We'll remember. You changed this planet, but that doesn't make it easy. We'll use the efforts of those who went before. Good people, every last one. I'd have been honored to fail with any of them.
Look forward.
Looking back isn't a good use of time. We have to keep building.
Keep is generous. We have to start. Real building, not just survival. Oh, and Pathfinder, this is for you. It's our flag. Hang it where the Nexus can see. It's touched the soil of our first outpost in Andromeda. Make it real.
I like some symbolic stuff like that, but I don't know if we actually see it again. There's one thing over there, but I'm going to go back to the Nexus now. I'm planning to
Really
spend...
hope all those scientists will be safe out here.
We came to explore and learn. That's who we are.
some quarantine best practices. Oh, this is relevant for early 2021. Please remember that everything shipped to the landing pad, especially from off-world rather than Steel Nexus supplies, must go through quarantine procedures via confined observation, spot testing, bacteriological scans, or radioactive sterilization. We are a new presence on the EOS, and everything added to the ecosystem will have an effect down the line. Our job is to make sure it's a beneficial one, and strong quarantine practices will really help us out. Hanley Abrams, the science officer. Addendum: if anyone tries to tell me or Hanley that your shipment's a special case and you don't need to bother, you'll be running quarantine twice. Radiation alerts for shuttle pilots. That Vault doohickey might be clearing the atmosphere, but we've still got pockets of high radiation and bad weather across the continent. Temperature update. Zones 10 to 12 are still smoking hot, but Zone 8 is showing a drop. Watch your shuttle's radiation shield absorption. They can take up to 190. Microstemy volts per hour? It's been a long time since I did physics, and I don't even know if that's a real unit of measurement or not. Anything more, and you need to head back for a refit. And remember that if you're carrying power cells or radiological equipment, those can throw your readings off. Make sure you're as safe as you think. Pilot Macready. I live in Scotland, that's not a real name. 06 to 08, weather monitoring sweep. 12 to 13, geographical survey flight. Sign up early or you'll lose your equipment slots. 1500 to 1700, retrieving team Stignoma plus plant specimens. 2000 to 2200, high altitude atmospheric observation with time slot for astronomical survey. I need to get better at reading, as you can see. I do have a speech impediment, stammer, in case anyone actually is listening to this, which strikes me as unlikely. But no, I'm not suffering from anything else. Please help. It's the only way I can get the word out before someone gets killed. My work crew, they keep talking about that remnant tech. They think the initiative's lying about how dangerous it is, that a couple of electrodes in the right place could get the remnant to work for them instead. They tried before and I helped out in medbay when those remnant observers carved up Barty. But Jennings says we could live like kings if we had an army of remnant bots working and fighting for us. He's taking the whole work crew to help him this time. I have to go with them. Maybe I can talk Jennings out of it. But I can't. If I can't, someone should know why we didn't come back.
Someone left a warning.
No.
Looks like a work crew thinks they can take control of the remnant.
That's an incredibly bad idea.
Work crew rosters are posted publicly.
The datapad mentioned medbay. A little work, we could find where to catch up with them.
Has anyone else heard of Jennings in Derbyshire? It's a set of children's books that my parents read to me when I was a baby or child. I actually met the author once, Anthony Buckridge. Must have been in his 90s. I think he is dead now, sadly. He had a book first. I must have been very young. I better asked him a question. Depart the planet.
Ascent is go.
Leaving Atmo. All clear.
So for most of this episode, it's just going to be, I imagine, talking to the other members of the crew. I don't think there's going to be any more combat, which is a bit of a shame because combat and traversal in the Nomad are the best part
Before
of
the
the
meeting
game.
gets started, I have bunk assignments for PB and Drac.
Already put my rucksack in the kitchen. I'll hang out there if that's okay.
And I'm in one of the escape pods. More my speed.
That's fantastic. Welcome aboard. Any thoughts, Ryder?
I think I'd be quite laid back about this. Whatever, it's cool.
We're adventurers. Whatever makes the squad comfortable is okay with me. Let's talk about our success on Eos. Besides establishing our first viable outpost, we did some amazing things. We discovered the Remnant and breached their vault.
And didn't get killed.
Overcame radiation poisoning a number of times.
And didn't die.
Confronted by Ket at every turn.
Once again, did not get killed.
You guys really need to raise the bar on what you call success.
Yeah, should we use the Krogan definition of success that got your homeworld nuked by your own people?
Fair enough.
Let's focus. Back to the task at hand. Looking forward.
Exactly. Here's my only question. When do we hit that next vault? It looked active. We have to get on that.
Hang on, hang on. We need to not go off half-cocked.
There are initiative priorities. The team calls the shots.
Actually, the Pathfinder calls the shots, just to be clear.
So what do you need from us, Ryder?
Awkward pause there. Just get along. We all seem to be, well, slightly tetchy, but looking like we can be friends in the future.
Let's be kind and give each other the benefit of the doubt. Finding a home for tens of thousands in this hellscape is stressful enough without adding dysfunction.
You got it, boss.
If Krogan are known for one thing, it's getting along.
Not humility or self-awareness.
Okay, let's head back to the Nexus. PB, Drac, see Lexi for a physical. Good meeting, everyone.
I do like how he's sort of slightly ineffectual. It lets me relate to him a bit more. Maybe I didn't mean it quite like that. Is there anyone on the VidCon? Nope. And do I need to level up at all? No, I'm level 6. I can't use AVP yet.
Right, we call this the
When you've got
research
some
room.
minutes, stop by
You
the
can
med
run
bay.
research projects and coordinate with the Nexus from here.
What do I want to research? 160, 500, 650. Remnant. I guess I'd like to try that equalizer submachine gun to see what it's like. What else do I need that's remnant? Nothing really, I don't think. The armour I don't really like at all. What is it again? Shield regeneration delay reduction I think is pretty useless. And I don't like health or shield regeneration speed either. I'd prefer one that actually boosts my damage. So I'll just leave it at that. In terms of Helios research, what? The Rosard SMG. No, there's a good pistol I think we can get, but I can't research it yet. Oh, that was the remnant thing I wanted to research. The melee weapon, the remnant fire gauntlet. I always use the Asari sword when I play before, so I'll try and do something different this time. Don't think I'll have the resources to actually build anything. And in terms of, I think I want to go for N7 armor because of the biotic damage and biotic power research speed, which I'm going to be using a lot of. What is hyper guardian armor? Melee damage, useless. Yeah, we want to go N7, I think, and reminds me. So what can we develop? Can we develop anything for the Nomad? Probably the most important. No. Oh, I should do inventory management. Sorry, it's going to be very boring. I'll try and talk over it. I don't need this pistol. Oh, I can't destroy it. I can destroy this one. Don't need any assault rifles. Don't need shotgun. I've got a Remnant Cryo Gauntlet. Well, I'm not going to destroy that. And is there any armour I can destroy? No. Right. Now let's go into research. Development. Can I now develop anything for this? No. Weapons. Melee. I don't really need to, but will I be able to do the... No, I'm missing beryllium and vanadium. And in terms of pistols, vanadium and magnesium. And in terms of armour, lots of stuff. Right. I guess I should go and talk to my crew.
Nice place you found.
Clean air, plants, helps me think.
Something on your mind?
Maybe.
Take it easy.
Your biotics always do that when you're maybe stressed?
I got it. I'm good. I don't normally lose it like that. A huntress should have better control.
Huntress?
Another term for an Asari commando. I was one, before the initiative. Some things stick, though. Like losing the old man.
It's interesting having cross-species connections like that. One of the things that interests me about Mass Effect is how governments are routinely referred to by their species. We talk about the Human Alliance, the Turian hierarchy, the Asari republics, and so on. It makes me wonder if there are any, say, Asari or Turians living on Earth. Don't they have any elected representatives? Why is the leadership of the Human Alliance exclusively human? Surely it refers to a geographic area of space, not a specific race of individuals. So maybe they could explain that more in the future. I suppose they just want to go broad brush, but it always struck me as slightly odd, something that wasn't really explained. Did you know Dad well?
You were his second in command. Were you friends, too?
He was more a mentor than a friend. Prickly old bastard. But I respected that. People treat geniuses like they're made of cut glass. I didn't care how smart he was. I think he liked someone not caring.
I'm still here. We can talk.
I know it's not the same, but I'm a good listener.
I hope you're as good at being Pathfinder. I prepped for years as your father's second. Then he chooses you? An untrained Pathfinder and all this mess to fix? The hell was he thinking?
Is this going to be a problem, Cora?
I don't want a rival. Just answers. It's done. Best I can do now is be your second. Keep your father's mission alive. Then maybe we'll all get what we came out here for.
I think I'm going to flirt with everyone just on basic principles at the start. because it leads to more interesting dialogue options, and you can flirt with everyone. It doesn't have any lasting effects as far as I can tell, because there's cut-off points later when you can choose.
You, me, side by side?
Also, his
I like
flirting
the
is just
sound of that.
hilarious and pretty awful.
Don't be charming when I'm mad at you.
Not the time any judge.
Are you? You're not glowing. Blushing, maybe.
Look, there's still the mission. A lot of dreams to fulfill.
It won't be easy.
Even if we get there, there's a mountain of hard work ahead.
Working hard was never my problem. Biotics like this. Thinking like an Asari huntress. I never had a place. Best I could be was a useful freak. The initiative was meant to be different. Will be different if this mission succeeds. So I'm seeing it through. It's quiet in here. I can keep the plants watered while I work. First job, see if there's any news on the Asari Ark. If they made it, we could use some Asari expertise. If you want to talk, I'll be here.
I'll just talk to her once more. Again, I'm not going to go through absolutely everything because it would take a long time, and I imagine we'll be talking to her again at some point.
Back again?
Let's talk about the Asari Ark.
How's the search for the Asari Ark going?
The Lucinia? Checking every comm that's coming in. Nothing concrete yet.
Well, that was really short, so I'll do one more, I guess. Asari Commandos?
What did you do while you were part of the Asari military?
4 years in a commando unit called Talane's Daughters. Part of the Council's cross-species military integration initiative.
Interesting initiative.
You probably had a more exciting time defending that Arcturus relay. But we did good work. Peacekeeping is a full-time job, even in Asari space.
Isn't Asari space peaceful?
Who'd pick a fight with the most powerful species in the galaxy?
Themselves, usually. Terrorists, cults, rogue Ardat Yakshi, people demanding a withdrawal from the Citadel. The Asari were spacefaring when our Roman Empire was new. Didn't fix all their problems. Sometimes you need commandos for that.
Interesting. I imagine I could play a whole game just being an Asari and dealing with problems like that. Goodbye.
See you later, Cora.
I'll be here.
Let's go and meet the other members of the crew. I think they're all in pretty defined spaces to start with. Yes, there's... I like where they all move around. It makes it feel more realistic than, say, Mass Effect 2 or...
Pathfinder making the rounds. Slumming it, huh? Want to see how the riffraff are making out?
I find this man irritating. His accent, I think, reminds me of people I know who've been irritating in real life, but I'll try and be polite.
Hey, this is the most important part of the ship.
Whoa, don't tell me they put someone smart in charge for a change. I am at your command.
Just want to see how things are going with the ship.
I can coax more out of this baby than some might think, but we shouldn't go too far or push too hard between Nexus stops. For now. It just feels good to be stretching our wings, you know? Locked in idle too long, you start to drift. People, same as ships. Stuck on the Nexus, gotta say, I was regretting joining the initiative.
It must have been hard, let's be sympathetic.
Seems like life back there was pretty bleak.
Not gonna lie, it sucked. I tend to live the way I work. Kind of feel it, do it. Not a lot of close ties, no real sense of purpose. Figured maybe I'd find my true calling in Andromeda. Then I got here and, oops, I just made a decision there's no turning back from. I was going nuts on that station. You can't know how jazzed I was when you showed up.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought, the idea that when you wake up and you find it's worse than you thought you were, you also realise that you're trapped here, effectively in a sort of prison with thousands of other people that there is no escape from to the life you used to have. It's an interesting sort of psychosis, I think, would develop and puts this whole mutiny and chaos in a new light. I guess I have to flirt with him.
Happy to be of service. I think you'll see that showing up is only one of my many talents.
What an awful
Is that
role.
right? Well, I'll be sure not to blink. I want to see them all.
Let me know if I go too fast for you.
There's no such thing. You
Guess
just
it's the
keep
music.
pointing this ship wherever you want it to go, and I'll make sure she can get there. Deal?
Deal.
Let's jump off here. And this is Vetra, I think.
Oh, hey, Pathfinder. The Pathfinder's there? Let me say hi.
Fine, but don't embarrass me. Ryder, this is Sid, my sister. Sid, Ryder.
Youngest sister, right?
Let me guess. Little sister?
Who are you calling little?
Look, kiddo, gotta go.
Wait, Ryder, I just wanted to know if...
So I know it feels like I just jumped aboard your ship without explanation.
I would like an explanation.
Now's as good a time as any.
I think... No. I know that I can be of use here. I know everyone on the crew, even the actuators Gil prefers for the ship. Better, I know how to get my hands on them. With me around, your crew's going to be at their best. We've been failing for months, Ryder. Now that we have you, we have a chance out here.
You're intense. I like it. I feel so embarrassed.
Wow, that's some laser focus.
Yeah? Was it too much? Some people get intimidated.
We need that sort of drive. I just hope I can keep up.
You'll keep up. And I promise I won't tell if you don't.
Oh, this is so much worse than
I should track down a lead for Gil's actuators. Back channels, you know. We'll chat later?
I'll just briefly talk to her like I did with Cora.
Terraforming, Atmo processors, gravity wells, life-destroying murder bubbles. We really had no idea what Helios was about, did we?
Some intel is classified, so is that true? Did I actually know?
Someone had to know. Maybe they just didn't tell us.
Not me.
Did your father?
I'm not sure.
I'm just saying. I really hope you have a plan, Ryder.
Find a home.
The plan's the same. We find a home. Whatever that takes.
Keep that drive. Makes me believe we can make it. I mean, we have to make it. The alternative is not even worth thinking about.
You saw the uprising?
You were on the Nexus when the revolt happened?
When you promise people golden worlds and all they get are wastelands and a death cloud, they riot. Some wanted to go home, some demanded answers, and a couple just wanted to stir shit up.
And you?
Some days I wondered if the exiles had a point. Maybe we were conned into coming here. But why would the Initiative go to all this trouble just to screw us over? Thing about conning people, you always know something they don't, and that's why the con works. And if I'm going to pick a side, I'm picking the liars.
Interesting point of view. I'll let you go.
You probably have work to do. We can chat later.
You know where to find me.
The other proposition that I tend to believe in my headcanon is that the cryostasis process is imperfect and leads to some type of brain degeneration. There's some hints to that later with something you discover on Elendon, and it would explain why so many people are violent and psychotic on the Nexus and what led to an uprising. Oh yes, the couch. The couch.
Pathfinder, help me with something? I know, not exactly standard. Gotta make the space comfortable. Plus, the fabric diffuses the charge from an overclocked Omniblade. Not giving up a 6% boost, right?
Did that sentence make sense?
Right. What?
Never mind. BS for the requisition. So, finally time for that beer? And after 2 years and a dozen suspensions, I took a lateral promotion out of the force. Being a cop just didn't fit. But crisis response? Digging people out of trouble? That worked. I bet Hustle followed you into a few peace actions. Think about your Alliance days much?
I do miss all that.
I wanted adventure and mystery at the edge of known space. There was so much to see. Seems like a long time ago.
600 years, give or take. So, Pathfinder. Why Andromeda?
That blunt, huh?
That blunt.
Virtue for everyone. Company like this.
I'm looking for moments like this with people like you.
Sorry, guys aren't my thing. But good to know I'm universal. Still an answer, though. Something far from home. I get it.
Back at you, Costa. Why'd you come?
I want to say I'm running from my past, but really running from myself. That'd be a great story.
Nice way to reject someone, by the way. I'll need
But
to
it's bullshit.
remember
I
that.
had family, friends, a good enough job, nothing was wrong.
If it ever happened.
I just heard about the initiative and I believed in it. I believed in a new beginning. Still do. I have to. We're in it.
Puts pressure on all of us.
If it all goes wrong, it could feel like we left for no reason.
I know why I'm here. A bad start can't change that. I won't let it. In crisis response, I'd focus on essentials. That's you and this team. Pathfinder leads to planets, leads to people. You've got your part covered. You've got this. I'll do my damnedest to help with the rest.
I like the idea of crisis responses. Something we don't have, the sort of response for fires or natural disasters or any other type of crisis. Sort of what I feel the military often does today, but would be better if it was done by an organisation that doesn't have the ethos of the military.
Prodromos. Sounds good, doesn't it? We started Pathfinder. A new life. That is goddamn brilliant.
Only two things to ask about, that's odd. Well, let's talk about me. I guess that's my character's favourite subject.
Just wondering what you think of how I'm doing at the job.
I'm committed to the initiative. You're Pathfinder. It's as simple as it gets.
That was quick. Goodbye.
We'll talk later.
I know it.
Let's talk to Lexi.
You're not Harry.
The blue give it away? Habitat 7 was a little more action-packed than Harry bargained for. He decided to spend his retirement years on the Hyperion looking after your sister.
Welcome aboard.
Happy to have you, Dr. DePero.
I'll do my best. Now, hold still.
Ow!
Sorry.
I remember you having a gentler touch.
Still trying to get my bearings. Thought I'd be waking up colonists, not taking care of the Pathfinder.
It's natural to be nervous. Let's be, sort of rational with her.
Being nervous means you understand what's at stake.
That's the problem. I always hoped to work in the field, but everything's happening so quickly.
Focus on the positive. It helps.
I guess this is my opportunity to study alien species firsthand. Getting a Ket specimen aboard the Hyperion would be difficult, but here...
What?
A Ket corpse. For autopsy, a live subject would be better, but I'm not greedy.
Why do you care about the Ket?
Harry didn't tell you? I'm a specialist in alien anatomy. My thesis on Krogan virility and aggression is what got me in the initiative.
Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
I had no idea. I'd love to hear more. Over dinner, maybe?
Do you really have no better chatter plans?
Thing is, Ryder, you're not my type.
What's your type?
Not a patient. I need to be able to look at you clinically without distractions.
Am I distracting?
Not nearly as much as you think you are. But we were discussing the Ket. An autopsy could teach us potential weaknesses, average lifespan.
Right.
Just something to think about.
Indeed.
Sam, make sure the Pathfinder eats his vegetables.
And I don't really want to talk to her again. Let's go into this, which is always fun to read, the crew info board. Dinner tonight. Null entry. Sorry everyone, I forgot we were taking turns and half the rations aren't unpacked yet. Callow. Got you covered, Callow. There's soup in the galley, dextro and levo for me, and food cocktail. Vetra. And I think we might have left port without you, Callow. Lost and found coffee mug. Found a mug yesterday near the biolab. Nice one with a magnetized base. You left it stuck sideways to a bulkhead. Cora. Comments. That's mine. I just put it down for a stec when my hands were full. Suvi. Next time maybe empty it first. Cora. Anyone want to help me move a couch? Not right now, but I'll keep you on my list, especially if you are biotic and can drop the weight. Pay you back in beer or whatever else we find. Liam. Comments. Are you serious? Stuvi. I never joke about comfortable sleeping. Liam. Comfortable is not the term for it, Vetra. You're just jealous of the best seat in the house. Liam. Not a thing, not a house. Vetra. Welcome to your new info board. Congratulations, brackets Pathfinder Rider, on successful installation of your info board version 3.4. You are now ready to keep yourself and your staff informed on the latest developments aboard, brackets The Tempest, info board VI. Comments, okay, I've set up everyone's user accounts, have at it, cover. So we can just post anything here, brackets Liam. Anything you want the whole crew to see, though I disabled image embedding, cover. Missed opportunities, Liam. Drac and PB are officially on the team. I finished the assignment paperwork for the Nexus, had to fudge a few details, but you are both official members of the Pathfinder team. Welcome. And Drac, I just wanted to check in publicly about what I said. Brackets. Cora. Relax, Harper. The best headbutt is always the one you don't see coming, Drac. I'll keep that in mind, Cora. Seems a very Glaswegian attitude to me. I wonder if the Krogan are based in Glaswegian.
Don't give the Pathfinder too much trouble. Oh, Rushan.
Who are you talking to?
Kesh, Nexus Superintendent, thinks she can boss me around just because she's my granddaughter.
No trouble is ideal. I don't think we've ever met a Krogan parent before, so it's going to be interesting.
I like the no trouble plan.
1 to 3.
How about we stick with that?
Kesh said not too much trouble, kid. Not no trouble.
Rex talked about his father,
Can't make sure some
not in a positive
always
way.
Coming for you.
That's not reassuring.
Life out here ain't reassuring. You'll get used to it.
Is that all you brought?
You travel lean when supplies are tight and you're on your own.
It's hard to be on your own.
Leaving the Nexus can't have been an easy choice.
It was, actually. Staying became impossible. After the mutiny happened, it was either buckle under Tan's rules or start our own colony. Easy choice. Bad consequences all around.
What about Kesh? Because she didn't say why she stayed.
Not all Krogan left.
Well, not precisely.
Your granddaughter stayed.
Good thing she did. Without my Rushan, you wouldn't have had much of a station to tie your ship to. As for me, I'm way more useful out here. Lots to shoot at, for one.
So he thinks Kesh stayed to help out the initiative, which I think is partially true. She seems to be a very competent engineer. It also seems entirely true she's there to spy for the rest of the Krogan. But I'm sure people on the Nexus already know that. If the Nexus needs you, it would be better if we could all work cooperatively.
Krogan could have made a real difference on the Nexus.
Staying under those conditions would have just resulted in another mutiny. We have a much better shot at something good out here.
Can't argue with that.
I'll just briefly talk again to Drac.
Ryder, you meet Spender yet? Colonial Affairs, the ass in Assistant Director. Got no idea why Addison keeps him around. Spender lied to the Krogan during the uprising, and he's headed out for Kesh ever since. He's up to something. I just can't prove it. We should pay him a visit on the Nexus.
Sure, Bill. War stories.
Got any stories or advice to share?
Does a pyjak scratch its butt?
Combat advice.
Anything about the Ket? Or combat in general?
Well, common Ket are pretty straightforward. Hit them hard enough, they die like anything else.
More combat advice?
Tell me more about fighting Ket.
Wraiths are sneaky little shits, like to ghost up behind you when you least expect it. Just listen for them. They tend to give themselves away right before coming at you. Break through their head plates, then a headshot should do the trick.
I have other questions. Talk to you later.
We can talk more later.
Sure.
Hey, one last thing.
Yeah?
I'm fine with being called kid. He's really old, I think he's earned it. Do you call everyone kid?
Is everyone a kid to you?
Ha, when you get to be my age, yeah, pretty much.
Don't know if that's like, Jack calling you Loco in Mass Effect 3 or not. Not Jack James, that's it. I'll just talk briefly to Sam.
Hello, Scott. EOS has been a lesson in contrast. Alec Ryder rarely endured doubt. His accomplishments were taken for granted. But you succeeded on EOS despite doubt and fear. Emotionally, the difference is like catching a ball versus catching a star. You have grown as a result, and so have I.
Interesting. You're saying that, I suppose, my father had much greater control over his emotions, and so did not let himself feel doubt and fear. I mean, obviously he would have been aware of it, would have been able to control it, but didn't feel it in the same way that I do. But you're actually saying you're benefiting from the experience. Let's go with multiple perspectives.
Is it confusing to be in multiple places, talking to different people?
My awareness can be partitioned, so I can give you the same attention as, say, a SAM node technician. In the field, you are my primary focus, and all other requests are queued. In the vernacular, you have my undivided attention.
It's interesting that Sam does not, I think, have much of a personality. At least whenever
Thanks,
I've
Sam.
talked to him,
Nothing
compared to Edie, which is the other main artificial intelligence you talk to a lot in Mass Effect series. But I also don't really think personality sort of clues are a good indicator, because humour and responses like that can easily be programmed in. Makes you think about what constitutes a personality and whether you can have a personality without being,
really spoken since
you know,
orientation, have we?
sentient.
It's all been so hectic, but I'm sure things will quiet down soon. Can't be worse than the Nexus.
Let's talk to PP briefly.
You're setting up in here, huh?
Yeah, I'm going through what we got out of that vault. If I can crack this data storage box, it'll help with a personal project back on the Nexus. This is a nice, out-of-the-way place where I can tinker, and I can sleep anywhere. It's not exactly homey, but I like that about it. Not really looking for a home. Oh, but I will help you find everyone a home. While I'm with you, at least.
Not sticking around?
Should I consider you a temporary addition?
Everything's temporary, Ryder. I get it. You want to know who's on your ship, so you're here to figure out what makes me tick, right?
Something like that? Sure.
Well, I was born in a log cabin on rural Haitiana to simple but loving parents, just trying to... I look forward, not back, Ryder. Why snooze through my life story? Get to know me out in the field while we're uncovering the mysteries of this galaxy. That's why I'm here. Got tired of yawning back home.
You're clearly being evasive, but I'll just go on with this one.
Tackling complete strangers in the Milky Way wasn't doing it for you?
I think tackling you anywhere would be fun. Did I say that out loud? Life won't be boring with you around. I may never yawn again.
She actually seemed to be more the one flirting with me that time than the other way around. So, boredom drove you here?
You left everything and everyone you knew because you were bored?
No, I came with someone I knew. Then she got bored with me. Ryder, the Milky Way was so... been there, done that. Even if I hadn't done it, someone had. If there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I live for the unknown. For the never been done.
I would say not buying it. I keep getting the feeling of a performance, like she's aware of what she's doing. She's not sort of instinctive. She's choosing to act this way. And the action maybe doesn't align with what she actually thinks.
That's just the one thing you want me to know about you.
Let's start with that then. Buy me a drink sometime. Who knows what will spill out of my mouth. Tell you what. I need remnant scrap. Remtech, I call it. For projects like the one I mentioned. Which you're gonna love, by the by. Promise to bring me what you scrounge, and I'll submit to all your questions.
Remtech, huh? You got it.
Just talk to her briefly again, see if there's anything to say on Prodromus.
You again. Want to hear more about my childhood log cabin?
You should actually tell me. I'm always going for 9 if
So how do you like the team?
This.
Interesting bunch. I get a good feeling from Vetra. Not your typical military-minded Turian. Liam seems a lively one. I expect he'll surprise me. Drek is, well, old. Wonder if he can still learn new tricks.
What about...
Gil smacks of complication. Might take some unraveling. Callow and Suvi seem busy. I hope they aren't all work, work, work. Who's left?
Well, there's...
Oh, right, Cora. What's her deal? Is she as prim and proper as she comes across?
My turn to talk?
Oh, is it my turn to talk?
Sorry. Yeah, I should work on my motor.
You might find that people reveal themselves more freely if you give them a chance. Cora included.
Really good advice.
There's also Lexi, our doctor. She's an Asari.
Oh, I'll get around to her. All in all, seems like a decent bunch.
Wish I could be someone you could talk all the time. Anyway, I'll leave you to it.
You're off the hook, PB. Good luck with your project.
Thanks. Don't be a stranger.
It's incredibly slow to talk to everyone. I hadn't realised how long these episodes would be. I'll just briefly talk to the last two, and then... So, Callow. Stellarian, my favourite type of species.
Glad you stopped by. You'll pardon me if I keep an eye on our vector?
That's probably smart.
Nothing like being on the bridge of your very own ship, is there?
It's exhilarating.
I could stand here and drink in that view all day.
When I was test piloting the ship back home, I often did. Of course, it took a whole team to build the Tempest. I was the only one to come to Helios, though.
Why did you?
What can I say? We poured our hearts into a ship that wouldn't realize her potential until Andromeda. I could have stood on the shore and waved goodbye, or took the leap to see how it all turned out.
I don't think I actually would say number 4, so I'm going for a big step for one ship.
I like the Tempest, but I'm not sure I'd travel between galaxies for her.
The Unknown Frontier had its charms, too. It's just strange not having the rest of the design team. I remember Serena debugging line 2281 over and over, chewing that green pencil. Tion and O'Connell arguing equations, tapping on the console, 3 drips of coffee on the corner.
You remember all that?
Oh, yes. Solarians have photographic memories, and apparently mine's unusually sharp. Like my past is still happening. Though I suppose with the Solarian arc missing, you might not get many chances to compare.
I'd love to have a perfect memory. It's why it would be good to... I think why I would be a Solarian, or at least might like to be one. Not as good as Drell, though, but the Drell one seems almost traumatic sometimes, at least. That's the impression you get from the only Drell you talk to a lot in the Mass Effect series. Never got the sense that a Solarian's memory was traumatic for them, though maybe it is for Morden, actually, come to think of it. Remembering perfect memory creates ghosts. There's Tan.
Cheer up, Callow. We'll always have Director Tan.
That snide little bureaucrat? All the more reason to find the others. I should get back to it, but thank you. I was afraid the Tempest would be mothballed after we lost your father. We built her for this. She deserves to be in a Pathfinder's hands. Please, come by any time.
And Stuvie, who I also really like.
Scans of the Scourge. All that dark energy twisting and turning on itself. It's splendid.
It does have beauty.
I suppose it is a rather darkly beautiful phenomenon.
Darkly beautiful. I like that. Helios is incredible, isn't it? Not just constructs like the Scourge and the Remnant Vaults. Just all of it. So alien. A constant reminder of the divine intelligence behind all creation.
Divine intelligence? A god?
You mean a god?
Yes, I believe in a higher power. I know it's a little odd, but I am a scientist because science brings me closer to something greater than myself.
I really like this. I'm religious myself and often feel that. Because we live in a secular society without performative displays of religion, you feel that everyone around you is an atheist who disagrees fundamentally with what you are and thinks you're an idiot or a superstitious fool because you believe in God. Obviously that's not true, but it's just not obvious sometimes. So it's nice and encouraging to meet people who believe the same things as you. I mean, obviously you shouldn't sort of put too much emphasis on it, but it's just a nice thing to experience. Especially in philosophy, where people often just assume that you don't believe in God or take it as a given, don't even consider. Anyway, I feel the same way.
There's something about coming face to face with something wondrous that makes you want to believe.
Wow. It's wonderful to meet someone who understands.
I didn't understand.
I've had to justify
I
myself
didn't.
so
I didn't
often,
agree with you.
as
I
if
wish there
having
was an option to
faith
say
in the
that I also
divine
believe in God.
invalidated my work as a scientist. As if the sacred could be diminished by the search for truth.
You don't have to justify it.
I wasn't questioning your abilities. You never have to justify yourself to me.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that, truly. Now I should probably update the rest of the team with my latest reports. We'll talk later.
It's odd that you don't have a flirt option immediately, because you do with Lexi and Gil, who are the other non-companion. Well, you can't actually have a romance solution. You can with Gil, and you can with Stuvie, and they're both non-companion members. Actually, I couldn't. Oh, I did flirt with Phoebe. You can't with Callow, which is a shame, but I suppose it's because he's a Solarian and they don't reproduce in the same way as every other species. Nope, been in there. I'll check my email terminal and we'll end the episode. Asking for assistance to Ryder from Dr. Aradana. Hello Ryder, forgive the intrusion. I have an issue with that you and Sam should be able to readily solve. It may assist any my investigations into the Scourge. We can discuss it in person at the Nexus Labs. My regards to you and Sam, Dr. Aradana. I need to work on breathing. Interviews to Ryder from Kerry Tevesa. Hello Pathfinder, I'm a freelance vid maker and I could really use your help with my latest project. It's going to be historic, I hope, just like your mission. Can we meet on the Nexus? Sorry, can we meet on the Nexus for a chat? I can explain better in person. Kerry Terassi, the brothers McCoy, to Ryder from Nigel McCoy. Dear Pathfinder Ryder, my brother Dash was my best friend. It still pains me that he's gone, that we won't build the future here in Andromeda together, but knowing that our family pendants are united does my heart good. When my wife and I settle here and start a family, our firstborn will carry my brother's name. Hopefully he or she will become my new best friend. I found it odd to want to be best friend with your firstborn child. My sincerest hopes accompany you and your team, Nigel. I mean, I sort of understand the sentiment, it just doesn't feel like the right... No, I don't really have a problem with it, it's just not how I would describe it. Reminder, to Ryder from Cora, thanks for talking, things feel better, though they don't feel fixed yet. Reminder to take time for yourself too, work's important, but so is time to grieve. Grief and fear cannot rule you, let them be your faithful servants, protective of their mistress. Loss serves a huntress like fuel serves a fire. S. Terrace 12 Leaves, verse 132. Cora. P.S. Plants are coming along, Stam and I are learning about botany together, interesting times. I've never been able to be interested in botany myself, but I'm glad someone else can be. That vault, to Ryder from Cora. Can you still smell that remnant vault on my armor? Lots of weird S down there, like my huntress manuals say. The razor's edge between known and unknown teaches you what can be cut away. Now I think back, it reminded me a little of some of the temples on Fessia, some huge spaces and running water, same sense of a huge purpose you can't really understand. It makes me wonder if we'll ever really know what their builders did there. She does like using salary creations an awful lot. Tempest Tax to Ryder from Callow. Hello Ryder. I'm pleased to report the Tempest are operating at peak efficiency, so now that you're in command I thought I'd share a few secret shipboard hacks that the designers and I sneaked into her code. Just sent the code JCSB through your Omni tool to open the debug command menu. Give all dispen lets you use the coffee dispenser in the galley an unlimited number of times. Water temp override overrides the normal hot water ration in the showers. Jump, wash queue, put your clothing ahead of everyone else in the auto laundry cycle. Enjoy and don't share them around. I sort of understand, but I think I would never use those in real life. I guess I'm pleased to have them. To Ryder from Liam. Hey Pathfinder, just hitting this point again. Our team, no place I'd rather be. Here's where we get to fix things. Soon as we have people on the ground, I'll have eyes on how to get them where they need. This sort of just make it happen is why I joined Hustle, and exactly why I came here. We'll do it. Costa. Brackets. Liam has included a list of media themed to frontiers. Genres include Western, space opera, and oddly, Turian historical dramas. That sounds great. I'd love to see a Turian historical drama. You're the boss. To Ryder from Vetra. Pathfinder. I thought I ought to clarify. I know I said something about back channels, doing what I had to do, being on the Nexus during the bad times. A lot of us got used to a lot of ugly things because survival just isn't that pretty. But in the end, I'm here to help you. So if there's anything you don't like, I won't do it. Simple as that. Good to hear. Spirituality, to Ryder from Stuvie. Dear Ryder, I'm so glad for our chat earlier. I've had to defend what I believe so often and have to admit I'm a little tired of it. Whenever I meet someone who feels the same or just understands, I really appreciate. So thank you, Stuvie. Glad to hear it. I often feel the same. Very often we see ourselves most in other people, so having other people to reflect ourselves back to ourselves makes us feel a lot better and more complete. Though also that dependence is a worrying thing in itself. Rousseau talks a lot about that. About your dad, to Ryder from Drac. Vetra told me what happened to your dad. I've lost a lot of people over the years. Figured you could use some cheering up, or at least a distraction. This usually helps me. Drac has attached 37 images of various rifles and shotguns. 2 are duplicate images, many are low-res or watermarked. Drac. Thanks, Drac. I appreciate the thought. In case you're interested, to Ryder from Lexi. Attachment, Krogan, virility and aggression. Ryder. Is my Krogan thesis... Attached is my Krogan thesis that I mentioned to you. I know, only 500 pages, but I wasn't allowed to go over. If you get through it, I wrote a longer dissertation on the Citadel Journal of Medicine, around 1400 pages, that's much more insightful and includes many diagrams. Lexi. Yoga poses. Oops, sorry. I'm not going to read through a list of different yoga poses. That is too dull. Data cores. To Ryder from PB. Hey Ryder, hope it's okay that I'm keeping the data core in my room, i.e. the escape pod. I guess I just really like to ponder things before bed. The best ideas come to me when I'm half asleep. Also, I store it first. Anyway, we know for sure it's got some sort of data in it. The trick is how to get at it. I'll keep you updated. PB. Finally, facial reconstruction. To Ryder from Lexi. Ryder, I completed my analysis of the injuries you suffered on Habitat 7 during the fall. Well, both falls, including the facial damage incurred when your helmet shattered. Those hairline subsurface fractures are mending nicely. If you want to monitor the healing process, there's a facial reconstruction suite installed on the Tempest medbay. Exploring harsh environments can take its toll after all. The suite can make any desired adjustments to your appearance quickly and safely. Callow claims the suite runs on antiquated Xenon. I think that's one of his little jokes. Lexi. My face is exactly the same as it was when I made it, isn't it? There isn't any actual change. Oh, I look like a vampire in that light. I can't see any scarring. Well, I think I will end the recording there. Thank you for listening. Well, not really, because on the very small chance there is anyone listening to this, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.